I'd like to call order the Dayton joint meeting of the Library Building Committee and Library Board of Trustees. It's Thursday, October 24th, 2024, 3:02. This meeting is located at 1111 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. This is a hybrid meeting at Old Town Hall. This agenda is subject to revision, additions prior to the meetings. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the co-chairs, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. And we'll call for a roll call of the members of the committee. Start with
Ron O'Connor, co-chair.
Jonathan Gale, ADA coordinator.
Ken Pacheco, co-chair.
Pat Gales, Historical Commission.
Mark Ruffin, Library Record.
Britt Real-Smith, Russ, no title. Just this.
Mark.
Alex Tavares. Nicole Mello.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call to order the meeting of the Dayton Public Library Board of Trustees. Same date, time, location, and circumstances as the Library Building Committee with whom this is a joint meeting. Ron O'Connor, chair.
Ann Whiteson, trustee.
Rita Rougeau, trustee.
Ask everybody to stand for the pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Will it help if we put this on the table?
Can't hurt.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Nicole and Mark, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Update regarding project work streams, starting with the building infrastructure. I believe you have a report.
I do. Jim Aguirre was not able to make it today, but he prepared a written statement for me. It sounds more official than what it is, but I'm going to read what he has as far as update goes. And there are quite a few and pretty good. First thing Jim writes is ramps are complete minus the handrails. The form work for the ramp discharge areas and front sidewalks are done, and the base is prepped for concrete. The concrete contractor will be pouring next week. His next update is the ramps have been checked by Mr. Smith and Mr. Gale. They are satisfied with the ramps. Mr. Smith, Kevin Smith, asked if the door on the east side, which services the main ramp, was being changed. I, Jim Aguirre, said no, due to the historic nature of the foyer. The concern Kevin Smith has, is the opening width of a single door leaf may not be wide enough for an accessible route. I, Jim, explained that the door has 2 leaves and combined they exceed the width requirements. We agreed to continue the discussion to see if there was a way to modify the door without ruining the historical nature of the door/foyer assembly. I can't speak to that conversation, was not privy to it. But that's the update Jim Aguirre has. I don't know, Jonathan, if you were privy to that conversation, had anything to add, but I have nothing further to add to that update.
So just for that part of it, what I will say is that Kevin and I looked at the ramps, both ramps yesterday, with measurements of the width, the length, and also the grade. Happy to report that it all is within the standard. I'm really happy and pleased to see that they did it that way. There are a couple of just planks that I think can be planed out so that it's a completely even surface going all the way down. There's a couple of places where there's a little lip where if you have a walker or a lot of folks who are especially older and use the ramps, slide their feet and so forth. If that's planed, it's probably suffices and it's fine. And also what they're going to use for surfacing, I'd like to know before it gets put on, and then how the railing is going to be attached, i.e. for the lower grab bar. But overall, as I said to somebody earlier, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the top, I think they did a really good job at that. It's like a 7.5, 8, if you will, so far. The question that we have does pertain to those doors, because at the top of the ramp where the doors open, one of the 2 doors measures 28 inches. And you want to have a 36-inch at least width for the full door width in case there's an evacuation emergency. And I understand the aesthetics of the building and keeping the old historic part of it. So I think that there's some still discussion to be had there because there's the little, I don't know if you call them stanchions or whatever, right in front of the door. This is for the side door, the staff door. And there's those little pieces outside. I don't know what you'd call them, like little pillars almost. And the question is if one can be shaved on the side so that the second door has the full egress to open or not. But that is honestly the main concern, is just that the question mark on that door. Otherwise, so far, so good. Very happy with what they've done.
Just a clarification on that, it's the public door. Those two doors is the public
Okay,
ramp.
public door
And as it stands right now, that second door can't open the way it's
cannot, right?
not. So that's an issue.
So that's going to be the issue. How we get around that one, because otherwise what that means, if that's the main door, then basically it means that anybody who's using a wheelchair, potentially, unless they have a really tiny wheelchair, would have to go in the staff door. And that is not the way it should be. So we'll see what we can do. I am assuming we can come up with a workaround for this, perhaps, as I said, shaving off a little piece of that corner piece on an angle or something so that it's not obvious. But we'll have to discuss that with Jim and see what we can do. That's it.
Yeah, you want to see the surface material so that people don't slide.
Exactly. Well, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
I did mention we want to see what the surfacing is going to be as well. Because right now, even though it's not Trex decking, but it's a pressure treated wood, that particular type of wood is going to be hard in the winter. If you have any ice forming at all, even a very thin layer, and somebody's going down that ramp, they're going to go right down. If there's a wheelchair, it's not going to grip. So we need to know the surfacing, and we need to discuss the railings before they're installed, whether they're going to be set along the top of it or set on the outside of the frame, and how that's going to go or drilled into the edging, because there's a wide piece that looks like about like a 4x6 or something along the strip on the edge that maybe they're going to be drilling posts into. So we just need to get clarification on that to make sure that the lower bar doesn't interfere with the space of the ramp. But the widths are good, the radiuses are good, and they've met the standard.
When you have discussions about the door, I'd like to be included in that.
Okay,
The solution would be if both doors open up.
Mm.
And you wouldn't have to change the doors, but right now, one door is prevented from opening up the way they got the, whatever they call that,
Mhm.
where the beams, the post is gonna go. So, should be noted in the record, though, that Jonathan and Pat want that to participate in that discussion with the railings, what surface material they're gonna use for the ramp. Your concern, and I agree with you, because I saw that today with you, that has to be smoothed out so that people walkers can walk down safely.
yep. And that part I think we can agree is probably an easy fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Next point Jim Aguirre has is sandblasting is done. The columns were in poorer shape than originally expected. Jim will need to meet with Plan B to discuss a column design that stays true to the architecture without breaking the bank. The fireplace speaks for itself, and his words are amazing. I believe the final bill was $200 less than the estimate. I can attest to that. That is true, and I have the bill on the agenda.
3,700?
Yep, I have the bill on the agenda.
How often does that happen?
Mhm.
Never.
Yay.
So, good news there.
And
Next,
the fireplace looks great.
I agree with you. That fireplace is down.
Got a
Yeah.
lot of good comments.
Mhm.
Pictures on Facebook.
Mhm. Next, I'm going to meet with the town's cleaning company because the walls need to be void of dust and debris before Jim can engage Plan B to paint the finished areas. Next point,
Can we go back to that one?
which one? The one I just read?
The cleaning one.
Yes.
The only question I'm raising is for the painting and the cleaning, and I know Jim's not here to answer this, but it would seem to me that like there's probably an enormous amount of dust and so forth, potentially even cobwebs as you get higher and higher on those walls. I don't know, but because those ceilings are quite high. And I don't know that our cleaning company, I don't know this yet, of course, has the equipment to do that kind of cleaning. I'm just talking out loud here. Trying to think about that. Because if they're gonna paint all the way up and all the way to the ceiling, basically, in a lot of cases. I'm wondering if Jim will know this better than us, but if it potentially needs to bring in a different kind of cleaning company, which unfortunately could be a little more expensive, but that's one part of it. And then the other part of it is if the cleaning company comes in and does all the walls, I don't know how they're going to do it or what they would use for chemicals to do it. And then there's more construction there after it's prepped for painting. And then there's more construction going on inside. Will the painting then need to be re-cleaned? So I'm just throwing that out there. Am I making any sense?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you are. You're asking all the questions I had. So
I just don't know the answers to be able to respond. I'd have to defer to Jim on that one.
Well, the first thing we do is ask the cleaning company, and if they can do it, awesome. And it's gonna have to be cleaned after construction regardless of whether, it just needs to be. That's what happens when you have construction.
Yeah, you do your cleaning to do your painting, and then even though it's all finished work and it's all done, you end up having to clean again. If you've done any remodeling in your house, you know that.
So, I mean, I
It's
don't.
clean, clean, clean,
Clean,
clean.
clean.
So, continuing the question though, so that's being done now, the painting's being done now? Is that?
Did you say that the
Painting's going to be done soon?
yeah, it needs to be cleaned first before it can be painted.
So they're
Yeah.
waiting on the cleaning.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I thought there were plans to refinish the floors. No,
There may be.
because that will generate
Provide an
dust.
update on
That's the
that.
only reason why I'm asking. That would generate dust.
There may be. I was not provided an update on the floors.
Yeah, I just assumed we were doing that, but I don't recall there was specifically in the plan, but I would hope that would be done.
I know there was originally talk of redoing all the floors. They'd have to be sanded and then resealed and all that sort of stuff, and then whatever coating you put on it. I would personally, before the cleaning company is authorized to do it, I'd like to hear from Jim everything that they're going to be doing, what the cost is going to be and what we're getting for it. I think it's really, this is a really important piece of it, because there's so many nooks and crannies and different things there.
Sure. I have a hunch, and I can't confirm this without Jim being here, that if Jim engages, or when he engages the cleaning company, and he says, okay, we need this clean to do what we need to do, the cleaning company then gets back and says, well, we can't do that. I think perhaps Jim may engage someone else to get that done. I'm not speaking for him. That's just seems to me the logical progression
Sure.
in my mind. That if he needs it cleaned and the cleaning company says they cannot do it, if it has to be cleaned in order for Jim to progress, I just think he may engage someone to have it cleaned to the way he needs it in order to progress. But again, I don't want to put words in his mouth with him not being here.
All right, well, let's find out, because we may need a high altitude cleaning company.
Mhm.
That was a joke. Sorry.
I got it.
We all got it.
Okay.
A
Well,
higher
this is a
altitude.
joint
And
commission.
certainly if the floors are going to be finished, you don't want to do that after it's painted.
Okay,
So if we can also find out what the plan is to refinish the floors.
yep, sure. Sure. The last update Jim provided is Ralph Pataco, the new TA, met with Jim yesterday to discuss procurement of the HVAC and plumbing. We now have a clear path and just need to execute. More to come on this topic at our next meeting. So, and that's the extent of the updates that Jim provided to me to read on his behalf.
Any other questions about that?
I would ask any questions, but I'd have to defer to Jim on all the questions because they were Jim's updates.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
The budget,
Okay, so I wanted to talk about, so last meeting, I printed out the updated budget from Serena. There was actually a typo on there that you caught, Ken, but it turns out the typo was just that, a typo, because there were bills in there.
the budget was correct. for
Correct,
that
yeah,
time
the
period.
budget was correct. There were bills in there that was spent down in September. So the budget was not as of August 31st.
Yeah.
It was as of September because there were bills spent down in September. So that is correct. The town accountant, Serena, is going to get me an updated budget every month, so by our next meeting. Yeah, so for our next meeting, we'll have budget as of October 31st, and I'll have that for the committee, everything will be updated there. So that's the extent of the budget report that I have.
Thank you. Grants and any questions about that? Grants and fundraising?
Nothing to report at this time, other than the formation of that the fundraising subcommittee, which
Just so
has not met yet.
Just so that everybody knows, I had gotten a phone message last Friday from Grant Maker that they needed to change the date of the meeting. Sounded like it was for a medical reason. And just said they'd be back in touch later this week or next week when they had a much better date of when they could do it again. So it didn't sound like it would be very long, but that they had to cancel for now.
Who's on the subcommittee?
It is me, Mark Tavares,
Me, and I think Ron.
yeah,
Okay.
Was that letter presented to the board?
That's what I was just about to ask.
unless you want to.
I don't know,
I didn't see it on the
I
agenda.
didn't see it on the agenda either. so-
Things I'm not.
Did the
good at,
memo go
raising
to the
money.
I handed it directly to Leanne in the office.
Okay.
So this is for the select.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Community updates and information.
I have a couple things. I did a Facebook post showing the sandblasted fireplace, and we got a lot of positive comments and reaction to that. Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. Again, Facebook is not the be all end all, not everybody's on Facebook, everybody's social media, but there were a lot of, I think it was 67 likes, I think almost 20 comments, all positive, which is great. So now I know if I want to get likes and hits and comments on any post, just put something about the new library and then it'll happen. But I think we got a lot of positive comments and likes on it because the fireplace actually does look really, really good after the sandblast.
Yeah.
So that was very good.
Next question, why paint it?
Why did they paint in the first?
Someone did. They thought they
Mhm.
were doing a good
And
job.
especially seeing them right, the before and the after shot, you're like, that's like,
Shocking.
why even? Yep.
Yeah, in fact, those who weren't aware, if you'd shown the brick and
Mhm.
said we painted it, you get a lot more hits on that site with a lot.
Yeah, be like, why did you do it? Exactly.
The bricks are in fairly good condition, you said? So
They
Yes.
look good.
Yeah. I went in there, saw them. They look really good. Yeah, really, really good.
Come on, join us.
And people commented how they're looking forward to the library.
Yes, a lot of positive, yeah. Mhm. Yep, and not only, that, also on the building itself, like, there were comments like a lot of fond memories to that building, so it's the building itself, but also
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact it's gonna be a
people
library.
It's people who don't even live in town any longer that I come up, that I meet, go,
Yep.
oh, we can't wait to see it.
Yep. And I do have one more update. The Friends of the Dayton Public Library will be donating funds raised at the golf tournament. The an official donation presentation today following this meeting at the trustee meeting. They'll be donating the $10,000 raised for the golf tournament.
That's great.
For the project. So that's happening today. And yeah, the town's PR firm, they're contacting me every 2 weeks for updates.
Great.
This is gonna be the focus of the next update. It's all about the Friends and the work they're doing. So.
Don't forget to mention the piece about, I can't remember what it's called now. The TV show that comes on channel
9.
after the news. What's it called, Rita?
Oh,
Chronicle?
Chronicle. It's really important because there's a story there and Ron's got it sketched out.
No AI sketched.
Chronicle?
no, we're trying to get it on.
We're trying to get it on Chronicle and the PR. I mean, it's perfect.
Mhm.
You've got the same street, you tell it so well. You have it
We
down
have
like this.
two buildings, 120 odd years apart and so many feet apart and, that's not 20 years apart, whatever it is. But
18.
yeah, we're moving from a 20th century building to a 19th century building to create a 21st century library. Yes, that's the bumper sticker.
Chronicle did have a special on libraries recently.
Yeah, they did. It was
But-
repeated.
But ours is special.
But ours
Beyond
is
that,
special.
Yeah, it is.
And
It is
just tell the story of the building too, how it was built and why it was built.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a Chronicle kind of story.
It is.
It
It's,
is, yeah.
It's good. And we'll be getting some quotes for that, for the PR. Some quotes from the trustees and committee and friends.
Yes, that's right. Yep, yep. Yeah, verbal quotes, yes.
Verbal quotes, yes.
Verbal quotes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, different kind of.
Not money.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's why I had that blank, look, like, what quotes are we talking about? Yeah. Right, yes.
I conveniently left my checkbook.
All right,
Speaking of checkbooks, Hound Dog Plumbing and Heating invoice.
Yep, I have an invoice handed to me by Jim Aguirre for $1,905 for upsized water main to 1 1/4 and replaced silcock on side of the building for work completed on September 17th, 2024. I'd like to pay this down from the project budget.
I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second,
Second. Any discussion? I'll call for a vote, starting with Ron.
Ron O'Connor, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Campuchico, aye.
Pat Gales, aye.
Mark Dropnik, aye.
Britt, aye.
Do you guys?
Al Tavares, aye.
I forgot.
Nicole Mello, aye.
It's unanimous.
Excuse me.
Do you guys have to vote on that?
I don't think so. It's out of the project.
Comes special, yeah.
So it's not.
The second one is Soda Blast Sand Blasting invoice.
Correct. This one. It's over. Where did I put it? Right here. This one, this is for the sandblasting.
Yep.
And I know at our last meeting, there was discussion about this coming out of the library discretionary funds instead of the project funds. And that makes sense to me. There's money there, so I would like to pay down this particular invoice for $8,200 for sandblasting out of Meg Lake Library discretionary funds. So I would ask that just trustees would need to vote to approve this.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion from the trustees.
I move that we pay Soda Blast sandblasting invoice $8,200 from the Meg Leg funds.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, we'll vote starting with you.
Ann Meitzen, aye.
Rita Russo, aye.
Ron O'Connor, aye. It's unanimous.
I did want to mention that this invoice did come in under the estimate of what Jim actually provided, so,
It's good.
which is good.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? Like you said.
Never.
Never.
I'll take the extra 200 though,
Yeah.
so you don't feel bad.
Gotta keep the balance.
Appreciate it,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Window treatments for the program.
Yep, at our last trustee meeting, discussion of the program room came up, and we're getting window treatment, we're getting those shades for each room in the building. But for some reason, I overlooked the program. And given that there are gonna be presentations, PowerPoints going on in that room, sometimes light coming in from the windows can make presentation difficult to see. We opted to get window treatments for those rooms as well to match the window treatments in the rest of the rooms in the building. I put it under review, discuss, act because I expected to have a quote by now. I met with them earlier this week. I don't have it yet, but I will for the next meeting. So I guess this is basically a heads up that a quote is coming
Yeah.
on window treatments for that room, and we'll have something to act on for next meeting. I was hoping we could act on it this meeting. I don't have the quote in hand. You just didn't get it to me yet.
How many
But
windows?
it will.
in
There
that room?
were 1, 2, it was either 3 or 4.
Okay.
So there goes that 200.
You spent it really fast.
Yeah,
So would those be like what do you call it?
Scrims.
yeah, yep.
And would they be dark enough for presentation?
They will. I got the, yeah, that's right. And the way I see it, we can leave them up. If we need them, we'll have them to bring them down. I'd rather have them there to bring down if we need them than to not have them there, then realize we needed them. Well, then what?
That
So,
would be the what if, oh, I forgot this.
yeah, exactly. And I don't want to ruin the first presentation, whatever it may be in that space, because something was overlooked that, we'll tackle that now. Yeah.
Just have it at night.
So I was gonna say, if it's scheduled for 3 o'clock, just say, everybody, just be patient. We'll wait till the sun goes down.
Okay,
and We'll
all right.
be fine.
Sure, that'll work.
Next item is reengagement, BP electrical students for 2012.
Yep. So, Jim Aguirre is, as you know, is unable to be here today, but he did mention that he met with you, Ralph, discussing this. And since I was not privy to that meeting and he asked this to go on the agenda, I'm actually glad you're here. If you'd like to speak to that, on that discussion, feel free.
Yeah, first I'll introduce myself. I'm Arthur Tackett, the new town administrator, so I've been here for just a few days. So I had a discussion with Jim Aguirre. And I know everybody is anxious to get this library project wrapped up and going. So is this for the electric?
Yes.
Okay, so we discussed several things and the discussion was we're gonna put it out to bid using Granite City. So I think that we're just looking to sort of like a verbal approval from the committee that for us to be okay to go through the procurement process to get that done. It appears that our contracted electrician just has too much work and the job is just too big. He can do emergency stuff, but a bigger project at the library would probably require. And that's it in a nutshell.
As opposed to the BP students?
Oh, okay, that's something different. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, good.
All right,
It was the HVAC, my understanding, was Granite City.
Right.
Yes, okay,
Right. Okay, so I'll back
Yep,
up.
okay.
So, okay, so, yeah, so he's looking to get the BP students, so that was it.
And we
So
do
he's gonna
have
reach out to the.
We do now,
students
yeah.
To see,
Well, we do. We
to
have.
see if they can.
Kevin.
We haven't.
But we have to get it on their schedule. My question to him was, it's great, I'm glad they can do it, but we have to make sure they can do it. They do, big proponent of vocational schools, but a lot of times they get pulled in a lot of different directions, so this has to be a committed project, and they have to understand that. So Jim is gonna reach out to them to make sure they understand that. If not, we're gonna go through the procurement process, so.
And I think Jim asked us to be on the agenda, so the committee would vote to recommend for the re-engagement of the BP students.
Make a motion.
Wait for me to ask for the motion.
Come on.
Yeah, you're not getting the $200.
Let's jump ahead.
Oh, wait a minute, I should have talked about $200 for the town administrator in here.
Mark already spent it on her.
Yeah, so.
I haven't gotten the quote yet.
So,
Forget it,
look,
I'm not making a motion.
I'll be sending my quote in another week or so. Did you need to?
Oh, the verbal quote, yeah, send as many of those you want.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'd like to have a motion to engage the BP students for the electrical work at the library.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, there you go.
Do you want to amend that with Ralph's caution that we might have to go to procurement, or is that, because if they can't deliver, then do we want to just wrap it into one motion so we don't have to do another one?
Do you
As a
mind,
friendly amendment, yes, that's
Yeah.
good.
you don't mind seconding that friendly?
I will be so friendly.
Any questions? If not, I'll call for a vote on that motion.
Okay.
Start with Ron, roll call.
Ron O'Connor, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Campuchico, aye.
Pat Gales, aye.
Mark Rockman, aye.
Britt, aye.
Mark Tavares, aye. Nicole Mello, aye.
Thank you. Passes.
Doesn't Ralph vote?
No.
No, he's not a member.
Remember yet.
Not a member yet. Oh, hasn't been
Yeah.
appointed.
I'm gonna ask that he be a member, but
All right. I see.
he got appointed to a lot of committees last night, if I remember
Yeah.
seeing the agenda. This was
Yeah, there was a lot there. Yeah.
not one of them.
We weren't one of them yet.
No.
Okay. We didn't put our bid in. Okay.
So we kind of
So
discussed.
make a motion that we add Ralph to.
Chairman can't make motions, so
Oh.
Rick, this is your opportunity to make a motion.
I don't know him. I don't know if I can.
You haven't been formally introduced.
That's right. I have no idea.
So
Whether we want him or
I didn't
not.
catch your name. I didn't realize when you started talking that you were a new town administrator, so.
It's Ralph Pataco. And
Can you spell your last name?
I can, V as in Victor, ITACCO.
Vitaco, okay.
Yes.
Was that a test form? If you spell his last name?
I'm very hard of hearing and I can't always understand certain letters, so.
What would you have said if you said no?
Detect, no, I would have said, well, it can't be part of the committee.
Thank you for that.
Well, please don't be insulted by this, but I'm not gonna be part of this committee. Like, I want to come and be, listen and help where I can. I know Jim and Mark have a good handle on it, but I wanted to come in today just to, again, to introduce myself and I know, especially on the procurement side, I'm gonna be taking a real active role, so I just wanted to.
Okay.
Sort of
That's fair.
sit in the background.
Well, Ralph,
That's why I was sitting over there.
just so you know who we are, and we were for name or whatever for now, at least anyway. I'm Jonathan Gale, and I'm the ADA coordinator for the town as well, and I'll be actually sitting down with you next week.
Yes.
So, hi. And anyone else here who doesn't know you yet?
I'm Pat Gales. I met you the other day
Yes.
from the historical.
Yeah, we
And
have a
I'll be
meeting,
sitting with you
yes.
next week.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Anybody else say with us next week?
I am not.
But you
Well, we
are.
just were introduced.
I'm sitting with you now.
But not next week.
Right, right.
Well, welcome aboard to the town,
Thank
and we will occasionally ask that you participate in our meetings.
Oh, yeah.
But you're walking into this town, right? You're gonna be involved with a lot of other committees, so.
As evidenced last night.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
Well,
congratulations.
Mark did ask me if I wanted to play golf, if I part of the golf tournament, so.
Yes, next year, September.
Yep, that's right, yep.
We're already
Yep.
signed up.
Yeah,
So you can start practicing, right?
there you go.
I do the putting contest.
But there was a young kid, a young guy that got a hole in one, right?
Yes, he did.
Somerset.
So this group came up, three men and a high school freshman. And ones that hit 3 points twice, so he had 6 points. Off they went. Later in the day, we had this big roar. He got a hole in one. He's on the golf team at Somerset High School.
No kidding.
So when
The
Kevin,
freshman in high school?
yeah, so when Kevin Smith announced that he had won the putting contest, these other two guys who had had 6 points go, how come we had 6 points? And Kevin goes, yeah, but he got a hole in one.
Forgot to tell you.
No more conversation.
Yeah,
Freshman
he was
in high
golfing in the group right behind, like, what's going on here? We found out, and we caught up, and it was a hole in one. So, yeah.
I
Awesome.
said, he'll be back next year.
We kind of touched on it earlier, Friends of the Dayton Library Post.
Yep. The donation presentation is happening today, in a little less than a half an hour.
Yes.
Right.
And they were very generous this year because they didn't make quite as much as they had last year. But because they have funds in their treasury, they rounded it up to the 10,000.
Very
Oh,
generous.
that's great.
It was like 9,000. And it wasn't like a low 9,000, it was one that could be rounded up, so,
Yeah. It was close.
yeah.
It's still generous, however it comes.
It's awesome.
Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes for September 26, 2024, and October 10th?
Mhm.
2020? If you have, I'll ask for a motion to approve those minutes. It can be one motion. Both. I can't make the motion, so. I know Britt doesn't want to make the motion. You went here.
I wasn't here.
I was here for both of them, I'll make the motion.
I wasn't here for one of them.
I'll second it.
Good. All right. Any discussion? If not, I'll call for a roll call vote, starting with Ron.
Ron O'Connor, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Campuchico, aye.
Pat Gales, aye on September 26th, and I abstain on October 10th.
Mark Rocknick, aye.
Britt, I don't know which one I didn't make, but one of them.
Mark,
It'll be in the minutes.
Aye.
I think it was the 26th.
Nicole.
It's right here.
Or she was handbook. It passes. Our next meeting, and I had a brief conversation with Ron for the next couple of months, with the holidays and everything else, if we could perhaps meet just once a month versus every 2 weeks. How does the group feel about that?
Unless there's something pressing that comes up and you can
Exactly.
call a meeting.
Yeah, I think unless we get something from procurement
that we
and we
to-
need to meet soon for HVAC or something like that.
Well, if there's any questions that come up that need to be answered before the next steps
Mhm.
are completed. So,
Oh, actually, can I ask a question real quick? Now, speaking of procurement, Ralph, when you're meeting with Jim, did a timeline come up of when procurement happened? Because when I last spoke with him, he thought maybe we can go out to bid mid-November. Is that still
We're
realistic?
still thinking on that target date.
Okay,
We're
perfect.
gonna reach out
Thank
to the Granite City.
Okay.
and do the procurement side of
Excellent.
it, so, yeah.
Thank you.
So I suggest November 14th, only because the trustees also meet on that day. It would just be more convenient, but if it's
that's also town meeting.
That's
day.
town meeting if anybody's
Town
involved in
meeting
that.
that night, yeah.
we plan to have a long trustees meeting.
November 14th?
It's town meeting.
It's a
Yeah,
Thursday.
Okay, well, we can change our schedule, so maybe
Yeah, we
November
can.
7th. Thursdays. I'm just thinking Thursdays are better, but
I mean, we could meet it. What do we mean at 3 o'clock?
Right.
Because town meeting doesn't start till what, 7?
Oh, that's right. Oh, maybe.
Well, do we need to, okay, but if we're talking about going once a month, do we need to meet on the 14th?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
If we're going once a month, do we need to meet on the 14th? Or should we hold off until the week after Thanksgiving?
That would be December.
That would be December.
sorrow.
And I won't be here.
I want
I'll be overseas.
to, I think, can we check with Jim and see if he can make
Where are you going this time?
either the 7th or the
Lisbon.
14th?
Likely.
It sounds like it'd be good to have the written update he provided was certainly great.
Right, but I just couldn't answer any
Can't answer
questions.
questions, so I think I'd rather not see another meeting go without Jim here, so.
The
Mhm.
14th
this is
works
2 in a
better
row.
for me than the 7th. The 7th is not good.
I'm not gonna be here most of November. But I might,
Can
Well, you
be
can
even
do-
earlier than,
yeah,
Zoom.
but you know what I
Yeah.
can't do is forget that there's time change. Because that's what happened.
Gee, where is everybody?
I would be up for the 14th only because if they're pouring the foundation, you know, the pavement, the cement
Mhm.
for the ramps in the meantime, maybe that's an opportunity to discuss the surfacing for the ramps and the railings as well, and the door. So,
The town
you know, or
meeting.
else, or Jim and I can talk ahead of time as well about that and come back with some, and he can come back with some information.
I'm okay with the 14th. I think Rick can't make it though.
Well, like I said, if I remember 2 hours earlier, I'll be here from Zoom, but
3 PM.
doesn't have to be 3. I know I've encouraged that for my schedule, but that seems open now, so.
Mark and Nicole, are you okay with the meeting on November 14th at 3?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's fine.
So we'll meet,
Have time.
3 o'clock?
I'm okay with 3.
Yep.
that's the 14th.
Yes,
Is that okay for Mark and Nicole?
I just asked,
Did you say?
I just asked.
No, with the time.
Yeah, I said 3 o'clock. And we'll probably do the same thing in December. If there's nothing pressing, we'll meet just once.
Mhm.
Then back in January, we can start meeting.
Should we make that?
Well, believe it or not, I have some time off coming up in December.
What, you just
Well,
started?
no, you just-
You're actually gonna take it?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
As of right now,
I gotta lie
December's a
down.
long way away though. December's a long way away.
I'm interested.
Do you want to make December's meeting now?
I don't mind if. Obviously, we want Jim at the next meeting, so if he can't make that, we'll have to maybe change the date.
You know, it's better to make the date and then reschedule.
Yes,
That's how I live my life. Reschedule.
Oddly, I'll be here all of December.
Is December 12th affect your vacation and your?
No, Phyllis is off. but you're not.
No, it does not affect it. No,
but-
I'll be here for that day.
I have a retirement party.
December 12th, I
At
have
3
people
o'clock in the
coming to my
afternoon?
house.
Well, I don't know how long it's gonna last.
yeah, but that's a different.
Okay.
And then we
I
have-
have something
then we
else
have
on
the
the
Friends
12th too.
Christmas
Yeah,
party
but I
that
have
night.
Oh, that's the night of the Friends Christmas.
That's what that's 12, yeah.
You're invited to that as well.
Oh, I was invited to the Friends Christmas
It's not,
party?
it's
Yes.
not Phyllis's, so you won't have to worry about that.
Oh, right, where is it?
We can say the 12th, my
That's
house.
Oh, I know where that is.
Okay.
And that's the 12th?
Mhm.
At what time?
6:30.
So do you just want to go with the second Thursday? That's what.
I'm okay.
Conversation.
At 3 p.m.
Trustees. regularly.
12 or 3, that'll be okay with you, Pat? You'd be- I don't know, prepping for this.
She's gonna be cooking all day, but it'll be fine.
Decorating a Christmas tree and.
I hope to
Put
have
lights on
the
the house.
tree up. I have something else on the 12th, but I think it's in the morning, but
Now that you mention it, I think Jim mentioned to me, he's taking a vacation sometime in November. I think it's a lengthy one. I don't know if any, I'll check it.
Yeah.
But I may get back to you and I may say that he's not available on the 14th.
He can zoom in, can he, from his
Not if he's in Maine.
He should take one of our,
hotspots, yeah. Let's give him one, yeah.
listen to me, I'm still saying
Intent,
our.
Intent, there's a
On
hotspot.
vacation. I don't understand. He's on vacation. You know how you say all the time, how many times you've gone away and.
That's not vacation, that's my life.
I don't know, I somehow recall Jim, like Mark, saying that they love their job so much, they don't want to take it.
I'm thinking about coming back.
So
I know when I'm in Idaho, I find that 3 hour difference and I still make my meetings. Just saying.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, I was gonna, and then I sat down to lunch and it's like, your meeting is starting now, and I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, it's 3 o'clock there, it's only 1 o'clock here.
Although I have to share with everybody 10 seconds, when I have these meetings in Idaho for this or anything else, the place where I have the meetings is in my grandson's bedroom, in his closet. Because it's a walk-in closet. You guys don't realize it, but of course I don't need lights on. So I can stretch out on the floor, put my phone down and do my meetings.
Oh, that's what.
There's an image that I didn't read in my head, but thanks.
Just wanted to share.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss? Because I know you got a meeting at 3:30.
So I still want to know, the 19th is on at 3 o'clock,
I have
December
November
19th.
14th and December 12th.
December 12th. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know.
But that
how I got
November
to the
14th is
19th.
pending Jim Aguirre's availability.
Yes,
I got it.
And the 12th is 3 o'clock too?
yes.
Okay.
And do we have a backup for November?
Well, I was gonna say, if
Jim cannot make it?
If it turns out that Jim cannot make the 14th because we don't know what his vacay is, could you at least find out when his vacay is and then maybe we can
Mhm.
throw out some other dates at that point?
Because if he can't make that November meeting, that would be 3 meetings in a row
Yeah.
without him.
Without Jim.
Yeah,
And we can't do that.
Who's counting?
maybe. I do the minutes.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get him here.
Yes.
Let's just work around his schedule. It's important.
So we'll kind of leave that open-ended. We'll say 14 for now, but subject to change.
Pending Jim's availability.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor, roll call vote.
Ron O'Connor, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Kim Chico, aye.
Pat Sales, aye.
Mark Crockett, aye.
Britt, aye.
Morris, aye.
Nicole. couldn't
Nicole left at
make it.
3:42.
Thank you.
Let's get a motion to adjourn the library trustees meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the library's trustee meeting.
Second,
Ron O'Connor, aye.
and Mike and I.
Rita Rojo, aye.
I'll entertain a motion to convene the meeting of the Dayton Public Library Board of Trustees.
I make a motion that
We want to,
A second.
okay.
A second.
Actually,
I just wasn't very loud.
we'll formally convene in a moment, I guess.
This is, we're
I
taking.
just want to make
a
sure that
break.
we didn't.
Tonight?
Oh, I'm not leaving.